Okay, so today I want to show you some sketchbook ideas. What to do in your sketchbook when you have no idea of what to do. So here's an idea, blind contour drawing. I was sitting out I just walked to the park and there were some ducks in the park. So I just took a black marker and I did not look down at my paper. I looked down to where it was going to start, and then I just looked at the bird, and I just drew it. I want to say I probably looked down maybe once. I kind of with blind contour, I tend to let myself look like halfway through the drawing or something, just to make sure I haven't like gone way off. Or like maybe if I'm going to pick it up to do the legs, I'll let myself look down to make sure I get the legs in the right spot or something like that. But what's really fun about blind contour is you get something that doesn't look anything like, this isn't how I would draw a bird if I was going to draw it, but they all often look really cool. And I really bet you I looked down a couple of times with this because this is really probably too accurate, but not a lot. I mean, I probably started here and then and then maybe looked down again to make sure I was in the right spot a couple times. And then I just went back with watercolor and filled it in. And there you go. There's a whole, spread in my book. All right, where's something? Okay, so this one, these are rubber stamps that I made myself. I just got I can't remember if it was a piece of potato or something soft that I just chiseled out. It really wasn't anything fancy. It was literally something like that. It was like a piece of potato. You can just look online about how to make rubber stamps out of household things. That's exactly what I did. I was just really bored one day and I wanted to figure out how to make stamps. I didn't really end up loving it, so I don't think I ever did it again, but I ended up with something I really loved. So I did kind of a two-step stamp where I did the leaf and then I did the inside of the leaf. So it was like a two-step stamp. So then I stamped this great thing, and then I can't remember where this ugly bird came from. It could be that I drew this bird first. Maybe it was a blind drawing and I didn't like it, and that's why I did this thing on the outside that I ended up really liking. And so what I did is I went back in with pencil and I just looked up on Wikipedia what birds were, and I just wrote like a journal entry just about what birds are. So I stamped the date there. So all this is just like a Wikipedia. I just copied Wikipedia. What are birds? It's in pencil. You might not even be able to see that. Okay, here's something else that Sketchbox is a subscription, and otherwise this has nothing to do with Sketchbox, except maybe I used I got some things from them, and that's what I drew this with. That's probably what happened. So I just drew what was sitting on my art table. I had a holder. These were my supplies. So that's something else you can do, is just draw your, can of art supplies, and that's what you draw. But choose maybe just two colors. Or in this case, I used, I had a watercolor pen, a regular pen, and then a blue and a green, and that's all I used. And then I went through, what was fun is I went through and I identified what each one was. And I even said what I liked about it or what I didn't like about it. And then over on this side, I actually wrote them down. I try to keep track of all of my supplies. So this was kind of just a demo page. Here are my supplies, and here's what they do. So that's always a fun sketchbook page. Okay, what else? Oh, okay, so here, that's one book. Okay, so with this, I got like this really thick paint. Again, it was probably something that somebody sent me, and so I just covered the whole sketchbook page in this matte paint, and then I went back with a black and silver pen and just drew something. I don't think it's the greatest looking artwork, but it's super fun as a sketchbook page. So there's an idea. You just cover your page with a matte color and then go back and paint in a bright color or white and just draw something, and that could be a fun idea. Okay, so here is a really interesting. So this was a conference that I attended, and or part of it was. So here was a photograph from the conference that I just printed out on a sticker. Here was somebody else's sticker that they gave me, and I put their name down there. Here's more practicing or playing around with supplies. So I actually wrote down the colors. Here is a watercolor palette. I have these all throughout my sketchbook. I'm always putting down my watercolor palettes because I always forget what colors I have. And this probably was my travel palette. As I was sitting in my conference, I probably drew somebody's face, and somebody was probably holding a guitar, so I drew the guitar. And then I got bored and I probably drew an ugly bird. Okay, so that's what I drew that day. What else? Okay. I drew her and she was drawing me. All right. Okay. So that's for that book. Let's see. Well, here's another idea. I will do a walkthrough of this book someday. This is a book I actually created for a travel that I went to Costa Rica, but I just wanted to show this one page because I do this a lot in sketchbooks. Is I will just illustrate a day. So this was Thursday. I went on I went whale shark watching in Costa Rica. So I just divided the page up. I talked about what the day was, so I gave it a title. I kind of wrote a small little paragraph. I had taken pictures, so obviously I painted this later in the day. I wasn't painting this while I was there. I was enjoying myself. And then I took pictures of what I did. So I painted a little bit of the steeple there, or the building. I probably looked up whale sharks on the internet to draw them. So I don't think I took a picture that good. And then I met some friends, and I met some people on the boat, and I ended up having dinner with them, Thanksgiving dinner that night. So I took a picture of them and painted them in there. So that was just a really great sketchbook that evening. When I got home, I just painted that. So here's one more, really, really easy. I just took some washi tape and divided up my page all around the edges. So I put the washi tape around the outside and then actually divided it down the middle, which makes it really look sharp and clean, which is a really nice look. You can see that I had gotten some watercolor on there already, but I don't really care. And then with watercolor, I just did a really easy background wash. In this case, I did sunsets, but you could do anything. You do an ocean, or, it depends on your watercolor skills, but I mean, seriously, a watercolor wash, super easy. And then I let that dry, and then I took gouache in this case, I just took really dark green, but you could even do black, and I just did a silhouette over the top of plants. I did like a wheat bush here, and then what are these called? I can't remember, but they, I just looked up kind of on the internet, on Unsplash, I just looked up silhouette plants till I found something that I thought would look good. And I just painted those, and I think it makes a great sketchbook page. So there's a few ideas for your sketchbook that you can paint. All right, thanks. Bye.